Alright, shh, very quiet. Hi, quick little review on what you had for homework today. So for number 1, you were supposed to put these in order from greatest to least. And so your answer is J. I'm going to show you what you can do in case you have some of these questions tomorrow on your test. So you have 12 and 5/10. You put it on a T-chart. You have 12 and 456 thousandths. Then you have 12 and 43 thousandths and 12 and 9 thousandths. And so we fill in the empty spaces with zeros, and now we want the greatest one. So if we look at this, we can tell that all of them have 12s in the whole number side. On the other side, we have the digits up to the thousandths place. And so since we want greatest, we can tell that 500 is the greatest one. So that should be first. After the 500, we can tell that it's going to be 456. And then, of course, it would be 43 and then 9. So that's why J is showing them in the correct order. Okay, let's look at number 2. Number 2, you had 4 students finished a math fact quiz and checked the amount of time in minutes they needed to complete the quiz. James was the second student to complete the exam. So how long did it take James to complete the quiz? So you need to put these in order, and whichever one is the second student to finish, that would be your answer. So for A, I'm going to put that on the T-chart. 5 and 75 hundredths, 5 and 857 thousandths, 4 and 972 thousandths, and then 5 and 8/10. And again, we fill in empty spaces with zeros. Okay? And so the person, when you're talking about time and finishing, you know that whoever has the least amount of time, that's who finished first. And so if we look on the whole number side, we can see that this one has a 4, which means 4 seconds. That would be the first person that finished. Okay? After that, all the other ones have 5s. So we have to look on this side. We have 750, 857, and 800. Okay? And so if we look at that, we can tell that the person with the least amount of time is going to be this 750. Okay? So that's your second place person. And then if you look at that again, 800 is the next one. That's the third person, and this would be the last person. So we want the second person, which means it's going to be this one. Okay? And so the person that has that one is student A. Okay? Because we can see that that's the number that was there. So your answer should be A. Alright, number 3. Again, you wanted to put these in order from least to greatest. So we put it on a T-chart. Our first clock shows 11 and 220 thousandths. The next one shows 11 and 18 thousandths. Then 11 and 121 thousandths. And then 11 and 110 thousandths. Okay, and since you want least to greatest, we can look at this side. They're all whole numbers. 11 wholes doesn't help us. So we're going to go to this side. The least would be that 18, right? So that's going to be the first one. After that one, we go to the 110, because that's the second least. And then, of course, it'll be 121, and then 220. Okay, so if we look at our list, we can see that this is the one that shows the order the way we put it. Okay, and now let's go to number 4. For number 4, we want what is the weight of one of the squares. So if we look at that, we know that one side weighs 4.3 pounds, which means that these two together are weigh 4 3/10 pounds. And so we want to know what does each one of them weigh. So in order to get that, we're going to do 4 3/10 divided by 2, because there's 2 squares. Bring your decimal up, and 2 times 2 is 4. And bring your 3 down, and 2 times 1 is 2. And you get 1 left over, and we cannot have a remainder, so we add a 0. Bring it down, and you get 10, and 2 times 5 is 10. So your answer would be A. Okay? And then for number 5, we have models and dividing. And remember, our strategy is solve it first, and then we look for our answer. So if we look at this one, you have 2 4/10 divided by 4. Bring your decimal up, and 2 cannot be divided by 4, but 24 can, and it goes in there 6 times. That means that we should have 4 groups of 6/10. So if you look at G, we have 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, and 4 groups. And then inside of each group, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/10. Okay? So inside of each one of these groups, we're going to see 6/10. Okay? So that's our answer. Alright, and let's go to number 6. For number 6, you had that Derek bought a shirt, and the shirt was originally $23.98, but Derek paid $5.50 less than the original price. And then he also bought some shorts for $17.95. So what is the total that Derek paid for the 2 items? So the first thing is we figure out how much was that shirt. So that was $23.98 minus $5.50, because it's $5.50 less. So that's 8, that's 4. Then you had 13 take away 5, and that's 8, and that's 1. So that's how much he paid for the shirt. Now to add that to the shorts, which he paid $17.95 for. And so 8 plus 5 gives us 13. This is 14. Bring your decimal down. That's 16, and that's 3. So your total should be $36.43, and as you can tell, it's nowhere. Alright, your next one, you have, based on the table, which statement is true? So we're looking at discus, distance, and dash time. Okay, so based on the table, which statement is true? Mackenzie's dash time is 1 99,000 seconds longer than Genesis' time. So what we would do there is we're looking at dash time, and so we're looking at a subtraction here for A to see how much longer Mackenzie's was. So Mackenzie's was 25 319 thousandths, and Genesis was 24 22 hundredths. We have to add a 0, and so here we have 9, here we have 11, that's 9, 2 take away 2, that's 0, and then 5 take away 4 is 1, and 2 take away 2 is nothing. So it's actually 1 99 thousandths, as we can tell. So this is true, so this is probably our answer. Okay, for B, it says the combined distance of the girls' discus is 18 19 hundredths. So if we combine the discus, that means we're adding. So for B, you would do 9 and 5/10 plus 9 and 14/100. We put a 0 in there. So you have 4, 6, and 18. So the combined is 1864, not 18 and 19 thousandths. So that's wrong. Okay, for C, you want how much shorter is the discus. Okay, so you would do 9 and 5/10 minus 9 and 14/100. Add a 0 there, and your answer would be 6 and 3 36/100. So no, it's not 8 and 19. And then for D, Mackenzie's dash time is 22 and 897,000 seconds longer than Genesis time. Okay, so here we would do 25 and 319 thousandths. Take away 24 and 220 thousandths. So you have 9. That's 9 again. That's 0, and that's 1. So it's not this much longer. So A is our answer. Alright, for 8, basically all you're doing here is you're looking at what is the population of Dallas, and you know that Dallas is this much less than Houston, so you don't really care about Austin. That's extra information. So you're doing 2,303,450. Take away 984,755. Okay, and so you subtract that, and you're going to do a lot of regrouping here. This becomes 14, this becomes 13, this becomes 12, this becomes 9, this becomes 12, and this becomes 1. So your total is going to be 5, 9, 6, 8, 1, 3, and 1. So your answer is 1,318,695. Alright, for 9, here you want what is the combined time. So since we want combined time, that means added. And when we look at our choices, they're all fractions, so we better make this one a fraction. This one's fine the way it is, but this one needs to be a fraction. So that's 9 and 5/10 plus that's 6 and 1/4. And since we don't have a common denominator, we need to find it, and it is 20. So 10 times 2 is 20, and 5 times 2 is 10. 4 times 5 is 20, and 1 times 5 is 5. You add that up, you get 15/20, and then your whole numbers gives you 15. And as we can tell, it's not there, so that means we need to simplify by dividing by 5. So 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 20 divided by 5 is 4, and don't forget your 15 wholes. So that's your answer, B. Okay, and number 10. For number 10, you were solving that expression. And what I like to do, and what I'd like to see you do on your test tomorrow, is rewrite that expression. Don't try to solve it where it is. So I'm going to rewrite it down here. 15 plus 4 times 2.30 divided by 4. So first thing you should do is take care of this parentheses. So you're multiplying that. 2.30 times 4. That's 0, that's 12, that's 9, and you have 2 jumps. So your decimal's right there. So that gives you 9.20. And then bring everything down. 15 plus 9.20 divided by 4. This is next. Okay, so you add the 15 to it. You have 24.20 divided by 4. Okay, and now all you have to do is divide that. 24.20 divided by 4. Bring your decimal up. It won't go into 2, but it'll go into 24 6 times. Bring your 2 down. Can't divide it. Bring your 0 down, and that's 5. So your answer is 6 5/100ths, and this is how you write it. 6 5/100ths, and then don't forget to bubble in it. Alright, for number 11, another expression, 5/6 minus 1/3 plus 5/12. Okay, and so we're going to add that up. 1/3 plus 5/12. Common denominator is 12. So this is times 4. And so that gives us 4/12. This is times 1. So this gives us 5/12. And so now we add that up and we get 9/12. So this gives us 9/12. And then 5/6 take away 9/12 is our next step. And I am going to do it down here. 5/6 minus 9/12. Common denominator is 12. And this is times 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. And then down here you have times 1. So that gives us 9. Subtract that and you get 1/12. That's your answer. So answer is J. Alright, number 12. Which statement is true about the parentheses? Which means this right here. The parentheses indicates that 5 times 2 should be solved first. No. The parentheses is around the 16 plus 4, so no. The parentheses indicate that 16 plus 4 should be solved last. That's not true. It should be first. C. The parentheses indicate that 16 plus 4 should be solved after 5 times 2. No, it's not after. It should be first. The parentheses indicate that 16 plus 4 should be solved before 5 times 2. And yes, that's true. So D is our answer. Right, and number 13, you have a half plus 6 times 3. 6 times 3 should be first, that's 18. And you have a half plus 18, and that's easy to do. That's 18 and a half. So that's F. Alright, hope this helps, and be ready for tomorrow for your test, and I know you guys can do it. Any questions, let me know. Thank you.